it's not English, probably it's more of Islands, that you come like thunder. These Gen Zs came like thunder, but left not with a bang but a whimper. Because
Wanyenya, I don't know where you live. I don't know you. You are not my friend. I just met you here. I don't know
because
you.
what these guys did the last, say, 2 months, no one had ever thought could be done.
Yes.
Even Tinga has never breached parliament. In the many years he's been demonstrating. These kids came and did things that were unimaginable. They made the president not sign the finance bill. That was number one. The cabinet had to go. I mean, they were forcing this guy to his knees, actually, literally. Then all of a sudden, la 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 la, saba saba, it turned out to be a music concert. Nane nane, apart from the roads that are there is nothing.
Apart from the holiday they've granted Kenyans.
Yeah, Kenyans actually have had an extra holiday that actually is just eating into their pockets, into their careers, into their opportunities.
And time is gone.
Yeah. So the Gen Zs, but that is the problem when they insisted that they are going to be leaderless, they are going to be faceless, they are going to be less and less, and
someone
that
grabbed
is
that opportunity.
Yeah. That is the product. But then again, of course, Tinga moving to this other side, you had that guy on Kamukunji ground saying, now that Tinga has moved, hakuna maandamano. So that's where
of Jacaranda.
The Jacaranda crowd. Yeah, not Kamukunji, sorry.
But
What's your take?
Give it to the president on this and his strategies. They worked for him. His strategy was to come to their level and pretend to be one of them and to listen to them. First, he gave a media interview, which to me worked a little bit, but exposed a lot of things that we didn't know about how he felt, because most of it took away that the questions we had on how does he feel about what has happened, people have been killed. So he displayed it before the cameras. And at that point, people said his actions, his responses would either add salt to the injury or pacify. Then, because it didn't work so much, he decided to go to their space, the X space. They said they'll not join. Oh, nini. People joined X space. Then he went out and dismissed them again. Nilikuja huko akakimbia. People said again.
Actually, the guy who hosted that space was actually one of them.
Yeah, one of them. And people said, no. Kwanza imeongeza tena anga. Next time, people are not on the street. Then he decided again, apart from just going to the express, let me just do another town hall. Then he became bold and he said, I'll transverse this country. He went to Narok. He sneaked into a church in Narok or Kilgoris, whichever. Kidogo unamwona huku, kidogo unamwona, but he avoided Eldoret to entirely Rift Valley. So it worked for him. Then he fired Kome and brought in acting, quickly transitioned him and put another acting so that they don't take responsibility. People went to court and they said excess use of force will not be tolerated. The strategy was to meet these young people with so much force that these are buddies. They like soft life. They don't like to have scars. So the police, unfortunately, brutalized people, killed people. Then they feared. So what happened going forward is they started resenting anyone who would tell them to go to the street. And a few ringleaders who are celebrities. Today, if a celebrity goes to the street and asks a few people to follow, they'll follow. So they took off a few of them who are very bold and left Samuel only on the street, right? All of them, this guy who sells cars, left the street. A few of them changed their body language and their speech on social media. They started bullying Boni. So what happened is they realized there's a gap here. Let's fill it with the police. So the police, like today, Nane, which they touted as the mother of all protests, could not even allow the three of us to sit here. So they see two people, it's dismantled. Yes. Two people, they dismantled that unholy alliance. So the way the president succeeded in ensuring no one comes to the street is that scare, being so brutal, the police being so brutal. They'll promise on one side of the lip and then on the other side tell them, you go to the street and make sure there's no one who's gathering. So these guys feared and they're not coming out. But the real protest is not happening on the street. The real protest is happening online, It's happening with what people are saying. It's happening when they give holidays. Because now if they say we are going to protest, no one is going to open their business. And the message this is sending outside the country is more important than how settled people are in. Because now the international community begin to ask, what are these we are reading online? You see, the US came out strongly yesterday and condemned brutality because they thought it will happen again. What they didn't think about is if people will come or will not come. But ultimately, it's worked for them, that they've managed to get people off the street, but they are still protesting online and they're still protesting internationally. And what they are saying matters most because that inspires confidence of the investors, inspires confidence of the tourists, inspires confidence on people who are looking up to Kenya for solutions, right? So I think they have succeeded. But the question is, what he was saying, will they deliver for Kenyans such that Kenyans will be so satisfied with the new set of changes that they will not have to go to the street? Because if something happens that triggers this group again, they'll put down everything and go back to the street. And that time, there will be no way they'll salvage. Because then, the person who's come as a band-aid yet again to this president, Raila Odinga, is not available anymore because he's already in.
So, and you're saying, Ken...
But Kalonzo is available.
But you just dismissed Kalonzo.
You know, you are saying that these Gen Zs are in their soft
they like
boy
the
era.
buddies. Yeah.
And soft galera. But they stood very strong. There are some guys there I like. The Hanifas, the Shakira
Hanifa is not Gen Z though.
Shakira Wafula is not Gen Z.
Shakira could be.
Hanifa is probably closer to the Gen Zs than yourself. And I think the fact that these young men and women stood to police brutality, to bad governance, to corruption, is something that is worth taking note of. If we had what the Times called the Person of the Year, I think the Gen Zs deserve that accolade.
They said they deserve
They surely do, because they have tilted the politics, and they need to be very consistent in those spaces that Ken has talked about, so that there is no let up until the election or until the next person fails in his duties, so that they say, we need this guy out. If you don't take him out, we march to State House. Ruto must go, Nani must go, Nini. They need to maintain that heat until the time we have good governance.
But don't you think, Charles, the other question that could have led to what's happening is if Ruto goes, what happens? You know, that was also a very scary
issue. Yes.
Now, that is where I was parting ways with these Gen Zs, because I believed in their cause. I mean, who disputes bad governance? But now, who takes over?
Yeah.
Look at Bangladesh. Bangladesh kicked out the prime minister. In fact, there was a guy who was
swimming in
laying prostrate on her bed.
Yeah.
I was wondering, these can get this serious.
Yeah.
The woman left, flew to, I think, India.
Yeah.
The next thing, the army has taken over. But the police said they are going on strike, or I think they just decided not to work. What happened? These same Gen Zs were in town trying to manage traffic. I mean, with our kind of criminal elements, you can guess if you do away with the police, even for 2 hours or 3 or a day, it will be total chaos.
Yes.
In Bangladesh, they picked the Nobel called Yunus or something like that, to be the chief advisor to the interim government. They formed, I think, a committee. They're insisting on elections in 3 months, and they have a bit of order. For us, you ask, I was listening to Kasamuel on one of these channels, and he was asked, okay, if Ruto goes, what happens? We'll cross the bridge when we get there. If Ruto goes, we'll think about it after he's left.
How?
That thought is scary, because with a vacuum in such, anyone can take advantage. If we get a rogue military guy to occupy that space, what happens? Do we become a military state? Straight up. We do not have an IEBC whom we can say we can have an election after 2-3 months.
Mutauma kipande, my friend.
Yeah. So that element, and that is what I was talking about, when they decided to be leaderless, faceless, and those lessless things. That is what did the need.
Less things?
Because to them everything was this less. That aspect of not thinking of, okay, fine, we kick out this guy, then what do we do?
What happens?
That thought was scary.
Yeah. It was. I think it was.
It is
not
scary,
only to them, but even
to us.
I think even to us, it was very scary that if they managed to push out the president, what happens?
What
I think
next?
there's one of the, who was it who said he'd rather we have bad governance than no government at all. Someone said it, and I think it was profound. It was it was a profound statement.
Because all of a sudden, Weta was coming from Weta the 3rd to Weta the 5th, Mara Weta the 6th. And this guy said, Apana, even Parliament needs to go.
Yes.
So the executive goes, Parliament goes,
Constitution suspended.
Constitution suspended. Then what happens?
What happens?
Gentlemen,
Yeah.
I think you've captured it very well. I want the last words, wise words, Wanyonyi. Nasi less bwana, even less more.
No. We are looking forward to this government. We anticipate that it will be good given the pressures that we've had. We are hoping the demos have, let's not wish them away, but we hope when they come next, it will be because of something legit, an issue that deserves that kind of a drive. But yeah, I wish the cabinet well. Eric Muridi actually is also a Lenana School alumni. So we are there and we are going to perform. We are going to show the difference.
They fired my only cabinet minister from our school.
You see, your school does not provide leadership.
Yeah.
The only problem is also Sakaja. Sakaja is also a Lenana School alumni, but he's having problems.
Mr. Dimples.
Come on. That's the governor.
Ken,
I don't know. Currently, one of the best performing members of parliament is also from the only school. It's the only school. It's the only school that is Maseno School. That's Anthony Kibageni. So he's doing really well. Anyway, my parting shot is this. Kenya has changed and Kenya seems to have changed for the better.
yeah.
There's a more responsive government. People are more responsive. And I think accountability for the first time, we are getting to the levels that we could have achieved back in 2002 with Mwai Kibaki. If we maintain that tempo, Kenya will be a better place. I tweeted today after the cabinet had been sworn in that they should not use the flag to harass us with big cars on the road. They should use that flag to work for Kenyans. And I think that's why I stop. Let them take this opportunity to show Kenyans that they were not another mistake. They are not there to ensure that President Ruto's administration goes on until 2025, but 2027. But they are there because they are determined to change this country. The way the politics has changed, the governance needs to change. And at the end of the day, we are Kenya and Kenya is our business. If this country succeeds, we all succeed. If we all have money in our pockets, we are all happy and Kenya moves forward. But if others are succeeding, in a year they've increased their wealth by 150%, and in the last year we have gone broke, I mean, it's not working for us. So mine is go there, fold your sleeves, get ready to dirty your hands, forget about patronage, forget about what do we call it, pledging allegiance. Go there and work for Kenyans. And we are watching. We are watching through our lenses, through our eyes also. And our ears are on the ground.
We hope that they'll deliver. And even Wanyonyi they will go with Wanyonyi's hope. Wanyonyi is a hopeful man and he believes in wealth and hope. Yeah. So we'll
create wealth.
Thank you, gentlemen, for showing up. I don't know whether we had comments or something. Tony, our producer, or anything.
Asante sana.
Asante sana.
Okay.